Welcome to Creepy Vibes Cafe, where the coffee's cold, the stories are chilling, and the only thing darker than your drink is what's waiting in the shadows. Grab a seat, stay a while, if you dare.
Creepy Vibes Cafe presents The Party That Never Ended. Welcome to Creepy Vibes Cafe. Tonight's story is about a group of college friends and the party that never ended. They thought it was just another wild Friday night. But sometimes, the night doesn't end when the music stops. David, Jenna, Malik, Taylor, and Brooke, 5 friends at Westfield University. It was a typical frat party. Music so loud the floors trembled, the air thick with smoke and sweat. David had brought a few pills. Just to take the edge off, he laughed. They all took one, they always did. But David took too many. By 2 a.m., he was pale, motionless, lips turning blue. "Call 911, Jenna cried. But Malik hesitated. There were drugs everywhere. They'd all be expelled, so they didn't call. They dragged David outside behind the frat house and left him by the dumpster. "Someone will find him," Taylor whispered. No one did. David's death was ruled an overdose. The others made a pact and never speak of it again. But guilt, it has a way of coming back. Jenna was the first. She heard music in her dorm at night, faint bass like a party in the next room. But when she checked, nothing. Then came the wet footprints, leading from her door to her bed. The third night, she woke to see David standing there, eyes black, skin gray, water dripping from his hair. She was found the next morning, drowned in her bathtub. But the tub was bone dry. Malik said it was coincidence, until it was his turn. He was driving home late when his car radio crackled. "Why'd you leave me, bro?" Witnesses said Malik's car flipped 3 times before it caught fire. The paramedics said his lungs were full of water. Taylor didn't last long either. She stopped sleeping, said she saw David's reflection in every mirror, every phone screen. Her roommate found her hanging in the closet. The word sorry scratched into the wall down with her fingernails, 3 down, 2 to go. 6 months later, Brooke was the last one alive. Every night she dreamed of the party, the music, the laughter, David's lifeless stare. One stormy night, she heard it again. The music, coming from downstairs. She walked to the front door, it was wide open. A red Solo cup sat on the porch, filled with water. Inside, David's old fraternity pin. Brooke ran upstairs. But the reflection in the hallway mirror didn't move, it just smiled. The next morning, her mother found her in bed, pale, eyes open, lungs full of water. Her phone kept ringing, even unplugged. On the screen was a message from an unknown number. "Party's not over." No one ever went back to Sigma Hall. But on certain nights, you can still hear the music, laughter, and screams. Come back, if you dare. Creepy Vibes Cafe presents The Spirit of the Squad. They were the pride of Ridgeway College and the Ridgeway Ravens cheer squad. Known for their flawless flips, perfect smiles, and sharp routines, they ruled the sidelines every Friday night. But beneath the glitter and pep, jealousy brewed like poison. Madison Kane was captain, beautiful, talented, and untouchable. Her routines won state championships, her charm got the squad sponsors, and her picture was plastered all over campus. But not everyone was cheering for her. Her teammate Tori Blake wanted that spotlight for herself. Tori had the skill, the looks, the charisma, but not the title, and that burned more than any muscle after practice. One night after rehearsal, Tori whispered her plan to a few of her closest teammates, Lexi, Bree, and Paige. "Just a little stunt," she said. "Enough to make Madison mess up in front of the crowd. Nothing serious. She'll get embarrassed, maybe step down, then we can rebuild with me as captain." They laughed. They agreed. And during the homecoming halftime show, the plan went into motion. Madison's final stunt in the Raven Rise had her being launched 15 feet into the air. The timing had to be perfect. But Tori and her friends didn't catch her right. A single second off, a slightly loosened grip. The crowd gasped. Madison hit the ground. The music kept playing. The cheerleaders froze. And by the time the paramedics arrived, she was gone. The school called it a tragic accident. The team cried on camera, pretending to be broken. Tori became captain just weeks later. But something wasn't right. At practice, the lights would flicker when Madison's old song played. The mats would feel sticky, like something was seeping up from underneath. A voice whispered during stretches, low, strained, 5, 6, 7, 8, echoing from nowhere. One night, Lexi was locking up the gym when she heard the sound of cheer shoes squeaking on the floor behind her. She turned. No one. Then in the reflection of the trophy case, she saw Madison, grinning, her neck twisted unnaturally, pom-poms dripping red. Lexi's body was found the next morning tangled in a banner that read, "Go Ravens." A week later, Bree's dorm caught fire. Paige drowned during a late-night swim. Each death happened during the same time they used to practice together, 7 p.m. Tori was the last one left. She started skipping practice, sleeping with the lights on, jumping at every sound. But it didn't matter. During the anniversary pep rally, the music system glitched and switched tracks to Madison's old performance routine. The crowd cheered, confused, as the screen behind the squad flickered with grainy footage of that fateful night. And there, on stage, Tori saw her, Madison, pom-poms in hand, eyes black as coal, whispering the count. 5, 6, 7, 8. The lights went out. The crowd screamed. When they came back on, Tori was gone. Only a pair of blood-stained pom-poms lay center stage. The squad disbanded soon after. And every year on homecoming night, if you walk past the old gym at 7 p.m., you might hear the faint sound of cheer shoes squeaking, a ghostly chant echoing through the halls. Ready? Okay. Let's hear it for the Ravens. The house on Greek Row, every campus has its stories. Whispers of tragedies buried beneath the surface. But at Westbridge University, everyone knew about Delta Psi Omega, the fraternity that was forced to shut down after one night of hazing went too far. The house still stands at the end of Greek Row. The windows are boarded up, the yard's overgrown, and even after more than a decade, no one dares step inside. They say it all started one night during Pledge Week, back in 2008. Delta Psi was infamous for their brutal initiations. The older brothers like to say, "We all had to earn our letters." That year's pledge class had 6 guys, all desperate to fit in. One of them was Evan Marks, a quiet kid majoring in pre-law looking for a sense of belonging. The final test was simple, at least that's what they told him. Spend one night in the basement. No lights, no phone, just a candle and a camera to prove you made it through. The brothers always told the pledges a story before sending them down, about a former member named Brother Calhoun, who died during a hazing prank in the same basement decades ago. They said his ghost still haunted the place, waiting for new blood to join him. Of course, it was all meant to scare the pledges, just tradition. But that year, the brothers decided to take things a little further. They hid speakers in the walls to make scratching sounds, set up flickering lights on a timer, even whispered into the mic to make it sound like someone was down there with him. At first, it worked perfectly. They watched from upstairs, laughing as Evan tried to stay calm. But around midnight, something went wrong. The candle on the feed started flickering uncontrollably. The scratching got louder, not from the speakers, but from somewhere deep in the walls. Then the video cut out completely. When they went down to check, Evan was gone. They searched all night. No sign of him. The police thought he ran off, too embarrassed to finish the initiation. The university shut the frat down temporarily, but it wasn't long before they reopened. And that's when things started getting strange. Brothers began hearing footsteps pacing through the house when they were alone. Doors slammed on their own. One pledge woke up to find muddy footprints leading from his bed to the basement stairs. Another swore he saw someone standing in the hallway, drenched, mud covering his face, before the figure vanished into the dark. One night, a brother named Kyle said he wanted to make peace with Evan. He went down into the basement with a candle, just like the night Evan disappeared. The next morning, they found him hanging from a beam, eyes open, candle wax melted over his hands. After that, the fraternity fell apart. The remaining brothers dropped out, the university shut the house down permanently, and Delta Psi Omega was erased from campus records. But if you walk past the old house on Greek Row late at night, you can still see the faint glow of a candle flickering in the basement window. And sometimes, if the wind is still enough, you can hear a voice whisper from inside, "Earn your letters." Some houses are built on brotherhood. Others are built on blood.